So the film starts, and we see that a mother was telling the story to a kid. The name is Fei. Her mother was telling her that science has achieved a lot of success and that science can tell us everything. She asks, what is the distance between the moon and the earth? She also tells her about the goddess of the moon. Her father was also sitting there. He asks her if he can tell her about moon science. She says, no, father. I want to hear the story from mother. She begins to tell her mother, my mother tells me a tale about the goddess of the moon. Then her mother tells her the story. She tells her that when Goddess was a normal girl, she fell in love with a boy. But then she drank a magic potion, which means she drank something from which she became immortal. She went to the moon for always, and now she lives there, waiting for the person she loved, to accompany that goddess. A rabbit lives on the moon with her, because the person she loved died on Earth. When she weeps, her tears change into stardust. They were looking at the moon. Fei asks her father if he thinks it's real, that the mother is telling the goddess story. Her father says, daughter, if your mother is telling you, it must be true. Her mother asks her to look at the moon and asks if she sees a rabbit. Then they start laughing. Then we see that Fei was playing while putting the rabbit balloon on the stick. She goes to her parents. Her mother asks her if she will help her make mooncakes today. Fei's family is special in making mooncakes. Now Fei also learns how to make cakes from her parents. Then we see that Fei has grown older while making mooncakes. This means time has passed while playing. Now she sells the mooncakes with her mother. But suddenly her mother becomes sick. Before dying, she gifts a rabbit to her daughter. Then 4 years have passed. Fei was sharing mooncake with her mother's picture. Now the moon festival arrives. Fei sells a lot of mooncakes with her father. She also delivers them, and all were purchasing mooncakes from her. It seemed like her mooncakes are famous. Fei returns home. She sees her father's friend with him and becomes sad. There was the son of her father's friend, and Fei doesn't like him. When Fei was putting lights with her father for the moon festival, her father says to her that she should talk to the aunt. She is a nice lady, which means the friend of her father. Fei says that, father, we don't need anyone. We're enough for each other. Fei doesn't want her father to marry any other girl because she misses her mother. Her father wants to talk to her. Meanwhile, that lady comes, the friend of her father. She has brought crabs for Fei because those were her favorites. Then they all sit at the dinner table. Fei picks her rabbit from her chair because her mother said that no rabbits on the table, that the rabbit will not sit at a table or chair. Poor rabbit. They start talking at the dinner table. When Fei sees that her father is getting close with that lady, Fei doesn't like this. That lady also starts talking with Fei. She says that your father told me that you are fond of meeting the goddess. From here, they start talking about the goddess of the moon. They all say that it is a silly story, but Fei thinks that it is true. She asks her father if he also feels like this. Her father keeps quiet. Fei remembers the old time when her father said, her mother is telling the true story, but now he was quiet. Fei becomes sad. She was about to leave the dining table and comes inside. Meanwhile, the son of that lady tells her that my mother and your father are getting married soon. Fei starts weeping while coming to her room. She says that she wishes everything becomes like before. She thinks that her father has changed, that he is not believing in the goddess. She says maybe her father will again believe in that goddess. Maybe he will not get married again. She looks at the moon from her room and returns to her rabbit. Then she starts missing her mother while looking at the moon. because she feels that her father has forgotten her mother. She thinks about how she can prove to her father that the goddess is still on the moon and still waiting for the person she loved. Because the moon is 3 million kilometers far away from here, she thinks, can she go to the moon while making a rocket so that she can meet the goddess and prove that it is true? Then she researches for many days and plans. Fei orders many things and does experiments on the rocket. But no rocket could reach the moon. Then she prepares a rocket of a rabbit shape. She sits in it with her rabbit to go to the moon. When she starts, the rocket moves slower than a snail, but it was moving. Slowly, it moves speedily. Now Fei was near the moon, but then all of a sudden, the rocket fuel runs out. They start falling back. Then she listens to the voice of her father's friend's son. She says to him that you are also here, and I didn't calculate your weight. The rocket plane was moving downside. Then suddenly a light beam comes, and the rocket again starts traveling upward. Maybe it was the attraction light of the moon. Then some aliens attack their rocket, and the rocket starts revolving. But finally, it lands on the moon. Then the aliens take Fei and that lady's son to a beautiful castle while flying them. Then the talking moon cakes arrive there, which means the moon cakes that can talk. They welcome them and take them to the party. That goddess was singing a song at that party. The rabbit was also there. Fei and that kid enjoy it a lot. Fei hugs that moon goddess, which means she turns her arms around her. The goddess asks her what gift she brought for her, but Fei actually didn't bring any gifts. She says that she wants to take a picture with the goddess to prove to her father. She takes a picture with her and says that you can get this picture, but there is a condition. The condition is to search and bring a gift for me. Now it's time to look for the gift. Fei joins the moon chickens on a ride. That lady's son tries to take the picture, and he imprisons in a space, which means he wants to take pictures without a gift. The goddess becomes sad that she couldn't meet the person she liked. There, on the roads of the moon, it starts raining. Fei faces difficulty because of it. But at last, she lands on the other side of the moon. She finds a goddess doll from the rocket ship that was given by her mother. The chickens snatch it from her because whoever will give a gift to the goddess, she will fulfill her wish. Fei is left alone there. On the other side, the rabbit was preparing that magic potion, the potion which the goddess needs, which was the goddess's rabbit. Fei finds a dog and rides on it, following those chickens. The chickens run while snatching her gift. While going forward, she snatches her doll from those chickens. The chickens again follow her, and while snatching the doll, it tears. While being sad, Fei sits down because she feels like this gift would stop her father from marrying again. When Fei feels hungry, she starts eating the moon cakes. She finds a broken piece of locket from them that can connect with everything on the moon. She understands that it is a gift. She immediately runs to give it to the goddess. After having that piece, the goddess becomes happy. While joining her piece and the other piece of the locket, she throws that magical potion on it so that the person she loved can come back. Then the scene turns green. The goddess becomes young, and the person she liked comes back. They meet, but then her lover says that she has to control herself because he can't come again. She has to move on, and he leaves from there. The goddess becomes sad, and darkness appears that side. To take her, Fei steps into space. Her friends were seeing her from outside, and they feel that Fei is stuck there. Means she is entrapped there. Now that goddess says to Fei to move on, otherwise she will stay alone like her. And listen, if you miss your mother, remember always she is with you. She didn't leave you. Now that lady's son was worried about Fei, he crosses that barrier. He says to Fei that leave it, we should go home now. Fei also says to that goddess that whom she liked has gone, but his spirit is with her. That's why she shouldn't become sad. And she is wonderful. All moon creatures come to hug and love the goddess, and the place again becomes bright. Fei says bye to that dog. She leaves her rabbit there because it becomes the friend of the rabbit of the goddess. Moon Goddess gives that picture to Fei that she clicks with them. To return back, Fei sits on those aliens with that lady's son. The picture burns, and Fei blows it away because she learns that we should accept things and grow up. If someone doesn't believe you, leave that person with his hearth thinking. She returns home, and her father again gets married. In the last scene, we see that Fei and that lady's son were playing together. This means now they also become friends. In the end, we are shown that the preparations of the Moon Festival were going on, and everyone was making dinner. Then they all have dinner together and were looking happy. Fei was also having dinner with her new mother and father, meaning with her parents. Then Fei sees the full moon with her father. When she sees the cranes flying, she feels that the goddess is here to meet her. Then those cranes fly towards the moon, and with that, the movie comes to a close.